The end is just the beginning. Out of chaos will come order. There is a moment in collapse when everything seems unlivable. Not just unbearable, but unlivable. Where the future is blank, the self is erased, the body is foreign, and the world feels like it's made of glass. Sharp, cold, and shattering at the slightest movement. This is the end, but not the end you think it is. This is the end of a false order, the end of a borrowed self, the collapse of a co-constructed identity that was never truly yours to begin with. What you're feeling now, the panic, the disorientation, the tears that won't stop, and the thoughts you can't control, isn't the death of you. It is the death of a structure that enslaved you. And here's the most terrifying part. That structure was inside you. From shared fantasy to structural collapse. In MPIT, we name this moment as the center point of reflexive mirrored psychic inversion, or MPI. When the shared fantasy collapses, it doesn't simply disappear, it implodes, and as it does, it pulls every internalized voice, introjected demand, shame loop, unmet need, and borrowed self image into a singular psychic event: collapse. The fantasy becomes a vortex. The gaze that idealized you is gone, and with it, the self you were allowed to be. You are left floating, disorientated, drowning in fragments of your own inner world. But this is the start. This is the start of a true order, one not built on compliance or abandonment anticipation, or the reflexive shame of not being enough. This is the moment when chaos begins to crack open the possibility of authorship. What dies here was killing you. It doesn't feel like it, but this psychic fracture is a release, a tearing down of the invisible architecture that kept you orbiting someone else's needs, a system in which your selfhood was a tool, your feelings a mirror, your presence a performance. The internalized rules you followed, they were written by someone who fed on your fear of abandonment. They survive as long as you obey them. The grief you're feeling is real, but it's not grief over losing them. It's grief over losing a fantasy of love, one that was designed to co opt your very sense of being. And now you are here, in the aftermath, still breathing, still perceiving, still capable of authorship, even if your hands are shaking. Symbolic chaos, the organizing gate begins to open. In MPIT terms, this is the threshold of the organizing gate. The gate doesn't open with clarity, it opens through chaos. But chaos is not the enemy. In a narcissistic system, the original order was imposed from the outside in. You were being shaped by the gaze of others, by affective demands you couldn't understand, by absence you were blamed for. That was not order, that was colonization. True order, internal coherence, psychic safety, symbolic authorship arises from sitting in the chaos without trying to flee it. You don't need to fix the pain. You don't need to name the future. You need to stay still in this moment and watch what emerges. The end is the lie they told you. They told you this collapse meant you were crazy. They told you it meant you were unlovable. They told you your pain made you weak, your anger made you dangerous, your memories made you unstable. But those weren't your beliefs. Those were introjects, internalized voices from narcissistic systems that had to fracture your perception in order to preserve themselves. In MPIT, this is known as introject co-option, where the voices of those who broke you continue to speak through you as you. And so we reclaim this moment. We name the collapse not as the end, but as the first moment of deprogramming. Out of chaos will come order, but not the one you knew. You are not going back. You are not recovering a version of yourself that once existed. You are not going to return to normal. Because the truth is, normal was never yours to begin with. The order that is coming is not built on past memory or fantasy. It is not built on appeasement or vigilance or compliance. It is not built on shame. It is built on perception, on trust, on authorship, and on the slow reformation of self, one thread at a time. What to do now? Stop seeking the old narrative. It is gone. The story they told you about yourself was never yours. Begin to witness your perception. Even if it's distorted right now, even if it's painful, it is yours. Feel your body. Anger, sadness, exhaustion. They're all signals of self returning. Reject the loop of justification, rumination, bleeding. It is not yours anymore. Name the chaos. It is not madness. It is the first sign of freedom. This is the worst moment of your life, and it is the first real one. You are at the beginning. You are at the gate. Hold, watch, author, order is coming. Peace out. Loads of love.